Hi, my name's Jessie Furlow. I'm the Director of Children's Ministry. If you're watching this video, you've probably had a couple conversations with me already about where you'd like to serve in children's ministry. Our mission at Northwest Hills is to love Jesus, live like Jesus, and make him known. And we have that same mission and vision for children's ministry here. You have a unique opportunity to serve in classrooms and really live out that mission and vision to our kids here at Northwest Hills. By committing to Sunday, by committing to serving regularly and showing them the love of Jesus, you get to live out that mission and vision to your own family. And I'm so grateful that you're willing to serve and willing to be with kids, teach kids, just love kids. And so I hope this video gives you just a good picture of children's ministry, what expectations are, and just sets you up for success as you begin to volunteer in a classroom. This video is going to cover two main areas of training. One is just going to be kind of a general overview of expectations for people within this ministry. And then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty details of what it looks like to serve in a classroom on a weekly basis. We'll even take a little tour around our campus so you can see where all the kids ministry happens. Let's talk about some expectations for the people involved in children's ministry. We believe that parents are the primary teachers for their kids. That means to teach them about discipline, about spirituality, about Jesus, about the Bible. And our role as volunteers is to come alongside them and really support what it looks like to love Jesus, live like Jesus, and make him known. So as a volunteer, you're committing to serve regularly, to be on time, and to be prepared for the classroom that you're in. And then to follow any guidelines and procedures for best practices within those classrooms to keep kids safe and to show them that love of Jesus. The parents are going to continue their role to teach their kids about Jesus and really just to come alongside us as a children's ministry to support us as teachers. We want to be a team working towards teaching their kids about loving Jesus and how to live that out in their lives. The kids, while they're in children's ministry, the goal is to have a ton of fun, to learn about how much Jesus loves them. So we want to create spaces that do just that. And my role as the director is to support parents and to support you as teachers and volunteers, to prepare you so that you're ready to serve in a classroom with training, guidance, answering any questions that you might have, and really making you capable of acting out and living out that mission to love Jesus, live like Jesus, and make him known. Okay, now we're going to get into some very practical things for being in a classroom. I've got my whole stack of notes here and different things that I'm going to be showing you and walking you through. So don't get bogged down in the details. This is really just to give you an overview. You can go back and listen to different sections of this video and review them. I really want you to be successful and feel like you have all the tools at your fingertips to know what to do when you're in a classroom each week. Once you've let me know the times that you're available and I've put you on the schedule, you're going to start receiving reminders from me. So you'll receive an email the week that you're scheduled to serve, and then you'll receive a text message the morning that you're serving, just as a reminder. Me checking in saying, hey, just making sure that you're showing up today, that you're ready and you're on time. It's a priority here at Northwest Hills for us to be united as we serve. And so we like to meet ahead of time before service and pray as a whole serve team. It's such a unique opportunity to see all the different ministries and all the different people, all the different volunteers serving in different areas of ministry throughout the whole church on a Sunday morning. We lift up the service in prayer, all the different classrooms, and the message. And it's a great way to just start that day of serving together on the same page. Those prayer times happen before service. We'll meet together when there's two services at 8:10 in the morning to do all serve team prayer with all the volunteers for that morning. And then we'll meet as a children's ministry small group. I'll kind of walk you through the day, answer any questions that you might have. And then in between services, we're going to meet as just a smaller children's ministry team for any volunteers who are serving for second service. That meeting will happen at 10:15 somewhere around campus. I'll let you know where that's happening. And we'll meet together and pray over second service and just make sure that you're all prepared and ready to be in classrooms. Okay, I made you some cheat sheets in your classroom. So each classroom is going to have a little page posted like this. It's something you may have seen before. I've just updated it with current guidelines and different things that make sense to know in your classroom. So I'm going to go over that real quickly and just give you the rundown, the top 10 things to know when you're in a classroom on a Sunday morning. There's no need to memorize these things. Again, you'll have this reference sheet in your classroom if you need to check it out. Or you can always give me a quick call or text and I can come and help you out and answer any questions you might have. Okay, so the top 10 things to know when you're serving in a children's ministry classroom on a Sunday morning. Number 1, ratios. We maintain ratios of adults to children in each of our classrooms, and that's how we can determine how many kids can be in there based on the number of volunteers that we have. So a ratio sheet like this is going to be in each of the classrooms, and if you ever have a question about how many kids can be in there, or if you need an extra volunteer to step in, go ahead and reference that sheet, and you can call or text me on a Sunday morning if you need an additional volunteer to step in because you have so many kids. Number 2, sometimes kids get upset, and that's okay. It's a new space sometimes for them, or something happens, or they may get a little bonk or something. So try to comfort them, try to calm them down, try some different strategies of distracting or playing with a toy. If nothing is working and the child is just unconsolable, on their name tag is a parent's phone number. And the process that we're going to go through to contact parents is just to text or call this number in the middle of service, and then the parent will know that they need to come and check on their child. So if a child is just inconsolable and you've tried a bunch of different things, go ahead and text or call the parent to come and pick them up. Number 3, kids go potty, and often they need to go potty during service. So here's just some quick tips to know about what to do to change a diaper or how to help a kid in the bathroom. Ladies only may change diapers or help a kid in the actual bathroom stall. If you're a male or a student helper, you can walk kids to the bathroom and then wait outside for them while they do their business and then walk them back to class. If you have any questions about this, go ahead and give me a call or an email and we can chat about it. Number 4, we require 2 trained volunteers in the classroom at all times. So if there's only 2 teachers in the room and someone needs to take kids to do a potty break, give me a call or a text and I can come fill in, or I can find someone to fill in for you so that there's not just one volunteer left in the classroom with kids. Number 5, check-in. I know this is some of your favorite things. Number 5 is check-in. If you see a family that needs help checking in, step up and help them. You can direct them to check-in stations just outside their classroom doors or in the courtyard. And volunteers typically are going to be around those check-in stations where they can help them sign in, they can troubleshoot if it's not quite working. So what are parents going to get? When a parent goes to the check-in station, they're going to get sticker name tags like these and a claim ticket. So when they go to their classroom, for any preschool and nursery age kids, they get 2 stickers per kid. One of these stickers goes on the kid's body. The other one goes on the check-in sheet at the classroom. So when a child arrives at your classroom for preschool and nursery, you're gonna stick 1 sticker on this check-in sheet, just like this, and then stick the other sticker on the child while you watch them. Later, when the parent comes to pick them up, the parent is going to show you their claim ticket. You're going to make sure that those numbers match. And then the parent can keep this or throw it away. You peel this sticker off of the kid, put it on the check out box on this same sheet, and then you know that that child has been picked up and gone with an appropriate guardian, parent, or someone watching them. I collect these sheets later just to be sure that people were safe and to keep track of attendance. So be sure that you are using them and using those stickers correctly. For elementary school age kids, they only get one sticker. So this is going to print out, it'll have their classroom name on there. It also still has the parent contact. So if you are in an elementary school room and you need to contact parents for any reason, that's on there. This sticker goes on the kid, and then it's your goal to check in with the parent when they drop off their child and to know who's going to be picking that kiddo up or if they're going to be staying for second service. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So that is the rundown on check-in tags. Number 6. I know you thought we were done. We're on number 6. Snacks in classrooms. We provide snacks in classrooms, especially as it's getting closer to lunchtime during that second service. It's up to the lead teacher if they want to have snack as a part of their schedule for the day. We provide goldfish crackers and animal crackers. It's up to the parents to provide any allergy-friendly snacks for kiddos who need those. But again, it's up to the lead teacher if they would like to provide a snack. In elementary classes, because kids 5 years old and older will be wearing masks, I ask that teachers just direct them to keep the mask nearby and only to remove it while they're actively eating and drinking, and then put it back on. Number 7. Number 7 is talking about injuries. So if a child is injured in your classroom, the lead teacher will need to provide any sort of first aid that needs to happen. So putting a Band-Aid on a cut or an ice pack or something. And you have a first aid kit in all of your classrooms. I can point those out when we're taking the tour and what they look like. And then within that first aid kit, there is also an accident or incident report form. So the lead teacher is going to fill this out, just give some basic information about what happened, and then put the child's name on it, have the parents sign when they pick up or if you need to call them. And then there's going to be teacher signatures and a witness signature, like another assistant who was in the classroom. And then we make a copy of this so that I have one on record, and then we send one home with the parents so that they know what happened. And if it's just a minor injury, we'll go ahead and take care of that and just keep a record of it. If it's a major injury, please call 911 immediately and then notify me so that we know what's going on. But for sure, if something major is going on, use the phone in your classroom to call 911 and get that taken care of. Number 8, COVID. We are going to follow all recommended COVID guidelines for prevention. And so there's a handy dandy sheet that I've included in some of your emails. This is also going to be in your classroom if you need to talk to parents about it at all. So I'll just give you a quick rundown of what those procedures are. The first and foremost procedure that's going to keep classrooms healthy is to monitor well children and make sure only well children are attending classes. So if a child has any symptoms at all, runny nose, coughing, fever, diarrhea, vomiting, anything like that, and you notice it when they get dropped off, please ask the parent to take their child out of the classroom. If they've already been dropped off and then you notice a symptom, please call the parent right away, or you can call me and I can track down the parent and make sure that child gets sent home. That's the number one way we can keep illness out of our classrooms, is just to not let it in the first place. The other things that we're gonna do that are pretty simple is wear masks for anyone 5 years old and older. So that includes children who are 5 years old and older, and it includes all volunteers and teachers. So we're gonna be wearing masks in classrooms. For elementary age kids, the recommendation is to distance about 3 feet. That's pretty much a normal distance if you're sitting at a table or sitting next to somebody. So I wouldn't stress about that too much. In preschool classrooms, that's virtually impossible to stay 3 feet apart at all times. So really just monitor illness symptoms and just make sure that kids are staying healthy when they're coming into the classrooms. The other thing that we're going to do is make sure toys and surfaces are wiped down and cleaned regularly. So if something is dirty, go ahead and collect that, put it in the appropriate bin in your classroom, and then we've got volunteers who take those things home every week and make sure that they're sanitized and returned to the classrooms when they're clean. The other thing that we're going to do to monitor COVID and the spread of COVID is just when adults or children enter a classroom, we're asking that they use hand sanitizer or wash with soap and water right when they come in. So be sure that you're reminding kids to do that. We've got sanitizer in each of the classrooms kind of right at the door when they come in, and there are quite a few classrooms with sinks as well where they can wash with soap and water, or they can stop at a bathroom, which is a great idea anyways, to have their kids go potty ahead of time and wash hands, and then come directly to class. All right, we are almost done. Number 9, who can be in your classroom? Only certified volunteers, parents, and kids are allowed to be in classrooms. So if you see someone else enter a classroom who is not supposed to be in there, or if you have a question about it, stop them and ask. You can always feel free to ask people to step out of the classroom if you don't think they should be in there for any reason, or you can call or text me and I will come and talk with them and make sure that only certified and trained people are in classrooms taking care of kids. And drum roll, number 10. Before you leave the classroom, there's just a few things that you need to do. So just make sure that things are tidied up, chairs are put away, toys are put away, and then anything that's dirty, be sure that it's wiped up or cleaned. We've got someone who comes in and cleans the classrooms, like vacuuming and disinfecting. So you don't need to do those things, but make sure tables are wiped down, make sure toys are put away, and just make sure it's in a better state than when you found it. We do have other groups that use the classrooms throughout the week, and so we just want to be sure that those classrooms are prepared for the next person who's going to be coming in and using them. So there you have it, the top 10 things to know when you're working in a kids ministry classroom on a Sunday morning. All right, now we're going to talk about a pretty serious topic. We're going to talk about abuse prevention. This is such an important topic because we don't ever want to think that something could happen in one of our children's ministry classrooms, but we need to be prepared and aware so that we can look out for any signs of abuse or just be able to prevent things from happening that shouldn't happen. So if you ever notice anything that seems inappropriate happening between kids or between a teacher and a child, just be sure to bring it to my attention or bring it to a leader's attention. The best rule of thumb when working in children's ministry is just to never be alone with a child and to never be behind a closed door alone with children. Always have 2 trained adults in the classroom with kids, and if anything ever does seem amiss, please don't hesitate to bring it to my attention so that I can follow up with the appropriate people. If an investigation does need to happen, our church policy is that we have representatives who can talk with the media and with law enforcement about the issue. So again, don't hesitate to let me know if anything seems off when it comes to child safety. All right. Let's talk about the last serious topic on the docket, emergency response plans. We hope nothing ever happens in a classroom again, but it's important to have a plan just in case an emergency ever occurs. So all of the procedures are outlined in further detail in the policy manual and in this emergency procedures folder that is in each classroom, kind of in a folder stand, and I'll point those out on our tour as well. So in here you've got all the kind of emergency response details that you might need to know if something came up. So familiarize yourself with that ahead of time so that you know what your response would be if an emergency happened. Just basic guidelines in that. If there happens to be a natural disaster like or if there happens to be a fire, so an earthquake, a fire, something where you would need to evacuate, then you're gonna follow the evacuation plan. That is also outlined in this folder. This is the emergency evacuation route that we would follow. And again, you can find that in the folder in your classroom. Follow those arrows depending on which classroom that you're in, to the appropriate safe space outdoors. And then you would need to take attendance when you get there, make sure that all the kids are there. If anyone is missing, you need to notify a lead staff member or myself. so that we can find anybody who's missing, and then stay with your group until you get permission from a lead staff member or from myself that it's okay to dismiss your kids with the appropriate guardians. And if we do get dismissed from that evacuation site, which is just outside the church building, you would need to follow the same procedures for checking out kids, removing their stickers or checking them off of a roster and making sure they're going with the correct adults. There's a couple other incidences that I feel are important to kind of lay out. So one, if a suspicious person comes on campus and is either near your classroom or in your classroom, if you feel unsafe, you can calmly ask them to leave. If they don't do that, please notify myself or a lead staff member so that we can come and talk with them or ask them to remove themselves from your classroom. You are always welcome to close and lock your doors and windows if you feel unsafe. And use your phone to call me or a lead staff member so that we can check and make sure that everything is okay. The only other thing that I want to point out, which would have a slightly different procedure and response as an emergency, is if there is an active shooter on site. And I know I hate that we have to talk about this as even a possibility, but if that were to happen, then you would immediately lock and close your door and any windows, and you would group your kids together within your classroom. If you're the first person to notice the active shooter, then call 911 and let them know some details about the shooter that's outlined in the policy manual. After I'm notified that there's an active shooter on campus, I'm going to call every single classroom and make sure all the teachers begin lockdown procedures. So again, locking your classroom door, making sure all kids are inside, nobody's going to the bathroom, nobody's leaving the classroom, and you're staying there and sheltered in place until you get notification that it's okay to leave your classroom. That will probably be a phone call or someone personally coming to your classroom and knocking and letting you know that that's okay. You'll only allow kids to leave when you have gotten the okay that it's okay to release them with an appropriate guardian, and when you make sure that it's safe for them to do so. So again, we hope none of these emergencies ever happen, but we want to be sure that we're prepared and ready just in case. The last thing I want to talk to you about before we go on our little tour of classrooms is all the resources that you have at your fingertips. So I've mentioned quite a few in this training. Guidelines and ratio posters and folders that you have in your classrooms. All of these materials will be stored in the classrooms where you can easily find them for your reference at any time. We also have curriculum binders in our preschool rooms, so if you're a teacher or an assistant and you would like to flip through and see what the next lessons are coming up, feel free to do that. Feel free to go through the lesson materials as well and see if anything's missing, and make a request if you need anything additional in your classroom. You can make that request to me or to another lady named Heather Zimmers. She's taking over our resource room. I'll point that out to you on our tour as well. She is absolutely amazing and willing to get anything and everything for you that you need. Just give her about 2 weeks to be able to order supplies and have them arrive on time for what you need them for. All right, it is tour time. I'm out here just at the very front of our church, just outside the courtyard. So come with me and let me show you our kids ministry spaces. You'll see if we walk up to the courtyard, if you turn to your left, you would go in the main church building, and then in the courtyard, we've got several classrooms around there as well. I'm going to show you into the nursery wing first. So we just walk down this left side of the lobby is the A wing of campus. All right, so we've just come into the A wing, and this is where our nursery and toddlers rooms are. This is our toddler room. This is for kids who are 1 to 2 years old. It has just been redone and painted and looking nice and fresh and ready for kiddos to come in. So if we head back out, this is where check-ins are going to be, kind of just in this area in between the classrooms, just outside the doors where parents can check in. This is where our little babies will go. This is A2. The toddler room was A1. So this is for any kids under 1 year old. And as you can see, it's definitely still a work in progress. We've got a few more construction projects going on, but this will be ready for babies in just a couple of weeks. So follow me through the lobby now. Beautiful redone lobby. And if we walk across the lobby, straight across, we will go into the B wing of campus. The B wing is our preschool wing. There's 3 different preschool classes. So we'll start over here at B1. B1 is for 2-year-olds. So any kiddo who has turned 2 by September 1st would come to this classroom. This classroom is all set up, ready to go. We've been using it over the summer. So if you are volunteering in B1 with 2-year-olds, this is where you will be. For the first part of the year, B1 and B2, so 2 and 3-year-olds are going to be combined. And I'm going to show you why in just a minute. But let me point out on the wall, I stole the folder from this little holder here. So that's where the emergency folder and policy manual will be. This is the first aid kit. And inside that first aid kit, you'll find all the supplies that you would need for first aid. And then that is also where the incident report forms are that you would need to fill out if anything did happen during class. So, all right. This classroom is connected to B2 by a bathroom, and this is where kiddos who are potty training can go to the bathroom. There's also some extra clothing in here if kiddos ever need that, or extra diapers. And that fan is very loud. And then we jump right back through to the next classroom. This is B2. So typically this would be where 3-year-olds have class and come to class. However, this is where 4-year-olds are going to start at the beginning of this school year. And so 2 and 3-year-olds will be combined in B1, the classroom we just saw. B2 is going to be 4-year-olds. Typically and eventually it will be just the 3-year-olds. So the preschool classrooms typically would be 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-olds. However, despite lots of work and effort, and lots of work already happening, this room, as you can see, is not quite ready. So there are plans in place to get things put together, to get carpet put in, to get baseboards put in, and to get this classroom up and running for 4-year-olds. But until that classroom is ready, we're going to combine 2 and 3-year-olds together in B1, and we'll have 4-year-olds in B2. Now let's head back out to the courtyard so you can see some of our elementary school classrooms. All right, so we've just come out of the B wing where our preschool rooms are. We're gonna head back into the courtyard. And if we go straight across the courtyard, we head over into the E wing of campus. In the E wing, there are several classrooms used for middle school, high school, and elementary school. So we will head this direction down the E-wing, and the first stop is E3. This is our kindergarten and first grade classroom. And it's getting nice and set up and beautiful, ready to go for this year's ministry. So if you are in kindergarten or first grade as a volunteer or a teacher, or even a parent, this is where you will stop. And just want to point out, again, in each classroom, there is this safety holder with the folder and all emergency plans and the policy manual. You've got a telephone that is working, some emergency numbers, and the first aid kit with those incident reports should you need them. So let's head back out into the hallway, and right next door in E4 is where our 2nd and 3rd graders will meet. So here we go, safety things again. Nice, beautiful classrooms. Our volunteers have been doing such an amazing job getting these ready for kids. So we are getting pretty excited to have kiddos come in and start learning again. Now let's head back out. We're gonna go back down the hallway and across the courtyard one more time. And if we go straight across the courtyard, that takes us to the D wing of campus. The C wing are where all the offices are, and that's where we're gonna stop on our tour. But in the D wing, we get to D2. D2 is a multi-purpose space that is used for meetings and classrooms. This is where 4th and 5th graders are going to meet during first service. And then during second service, this is where kindergarten through 5th grade meet for kids church. So it's going to be rearranged a little bit and put together this next week and get all set up and ready for kids to come. There's a couple more spaces I want to show you. So let's head back out into this hallway. If you go across the hall from D2 and right next to Gary's office, D4, you will find the handy dandy resource room. Heather Zimmers has been busy in here getting everything prepped and stocked and organized and ready for you. So if you need anything at all, she has a supply requests board over here, so you can be sure to fill out one of these papers with anything that you might need. You can pin it up here, or you can contact her directly by text, call, email, and she will be sure that you get the supplies that you need in your classroom, whether that's snacks or craft materials or teaching materials or anything that you might need. So let's go on to our last stop on the tour. So this is the last stop on our tour, the main office. And if you need access to that resource room or any of the other classrooms during office hours, you can head right in here. Today the office is not open, but usually you would see the lovely Lisa sitting right here at her desk, and she can help you get access to any of those classrooms or anything you might need. Whew, that was a lot of information. Thank you so much for listening and learning the essentials of what it looks like to serve in children's ministry. You already have what's most important when you're serving with kids, and that is a love for Jesus and a love for kids. Thank you for your time, for your effort, for all your support in this ministry as we work together to love Jesus, live like Jesus, and make him known.